When we think of mining, we often think of coal or precious metals being scooped out of the earth, but some experts put groundwater in the same context.
What we're talking about here is geological water, water that was deposited here a long time ago, and we're mining it.
The Ogallala Aquifer, the largest underground source of fresh water in the United States, is in decline. So why doesn't the government put the brakes on overpumping? In Texas, the answer lies in policy that dates back to the early 1900s.
A lot of how states manage their water resources goes back to critical decisions that were made in the state constitutions. And so in Texas, the state constitution notes that the state owns surface water, but is silent on groundwater. And that was ultimately left up to the courts. I don't think it was anything nefarious that happened in Texas back in the day. It was just, people weren't thinking about these things when they wrote the Constitution.
In 1901, Houston and Texas Central Railroad Company began pumping 25,000 gallons of water per day from an aquifer beneath Denison, Texas. The well supplying the water to the homestead of W.A. East went dry, and East sued. In 1904, the Texas Supreme Court ruled in favor of the railroad because the justices could not fathom a way to regulate groundwater. The court ruling created what's known as the rule of capture.
You can take as much as you want, regardless of the impacts to your neighbors.
So Texas is pretty unique in its right of capture. Many other Western states will, even if they regulate it slightly different from surface water, they do still include groundwater as sort of water held by the public trust.
We cannot tell our producers not to pump water. Under the rule of capture, they can pump.
The big water is the Ogallala. It's the mother lode, and it's invisible. We're not connected to it. Like if it was a lake or a river, we would see it more. I mean, we have maps, but we can't see it every day. But that's where we draw life from.
Does that help or hurt that we can't see it every day?
Well, it hurts in the sense that it's hard to treat it as a gift. And we think of it as a commodity. Turn on the water, there it is.
So we have a very mining culture about it here. And we've got to get away from that mining culture to a conservation, preservation culture.
The hope, I think, perhaps naive hope, is that, we'll self-regulate. And some of that could be installing new forms of irrigation systems that are more efficient. Or some of that could just be saying, I'm only going to pump out 18 acre inches in my growing season. But you can't make somebody want to self-conserve whenever they're looking at a dry, thirsty crop and a bill, and they're saying, well, I gotta pay that bill.
We featured Eric in a previous episode of Sustain the Plains. Eric discusses his family farm and their efforts to conserve water from the Ogallala Aquifer. Look for it at the link below. How should the state of Texas guard its water resources from depletion? Give us your thoughts in the comments. Join Panhandle PBS on this water journey. Subscribe below.
At Panhandle PBS, our reliable news reporting and fact-based storytelling has always been free. We're proud to offer our work for free thanks to generous support of viewers like you. If you appreciate our journalism and would like to see it continue, please consider making a donation to Panhandle PBS today.